Hey folks, Machinery Pete here. I've made my way down to Kentucky, Crofton, Kentucky to be specific. We're filming an auction tomorrow in the center. This is our farmer Dale Seay. Dale, it's been fun chatting this morning and getting a look at your beautiful equipment and learning a little bit about tobacco farming. Thank you for educating this Minnesota boy. But folks, the auction is tomorrow, which would be what, Saturday, December 14th, I think?
14th, yes, sir.
And on the left here, we have Gary Allen Taylor with Taylor Auction Company. On the right, with Taylor Auction Company, Travis Thompson. And Dale, this is quite a sale, collection of John Deere tractors. We're going to do a little walkthrough video, but what's it been like getting ready for your auction here?
Bittersweet.
Right.
In other words, a collection of equipment I put together for a long time, but I can feel proud about having a sale because I know what it is.
Right.
And I know how it's been cared for, and I know I've treated everything like, you know, if I was buying a piece of equipment, I'd love to buy something like that somebody is taking care of.
Right. And folks, my friend Gary Allen Taylor here, Gary, you called me a couple months ago and said, Pete, you know, it's a busy time of year, but man, if you can swing it, get down here because the quality of this equipment is outstanding.
It's unmatched, and you know, Dale made a statement there about, you know, getting everything right and being able to stand behind it. And we've talked to a lot of people from different parts of the country and North America regarding some of this equipment that's in this sale. And it's a short conversation. Maintenance is the best you'll find anywhere in the world. If you want to buy a good piece of used equipment that has been cared for, that only Mr. C can care for it like that, and it's field ready is an understatement, and that's for sure.
Well, we've had fun, folks, doing a little TV filming here this morning, getting ready for the auction tomorrow. And Travis, your years in the auction biz, it's kind of a treat to have this quality equipment, isn't it?
It is, very much so. Just helping out a good friend, Gary Allen.
Well, guys, behind us, let's start off with the truck here as we do our walkthrough. That's a C65, and Gary Allen, you were telling me about this one. Now, what year is it? How many miles on that thing?
77
model and 56,000.
Less than 60,000 miles.
Yeah.
And Dale, how long have you owned the C65?
I went up in Carmi, Illinois.
Okay.
And evidently that truck was so new, and it had been on its farm all its life.
Okay.
And there was a local dealer there or something that bought it, and I found out about it, and I went up there and bought it.
Nice.
So this is its second home.
Second home. Let's go get a little closer look at it. Gary, you were telling me you just don't see trucks like this.
No, you really don't. And I had a gentleman actually reach out to me about it last night, and I said, you know, if you want to buy one that you don't have to worry about working on, this is it. But at the same time, it really belongs in a car show. I mean, it's just immaculate. It's absolutely immaculate. And
no, I have not taken a peek into the cab yet, but I have on Dale's tractors, and my goodness, they're just outstanding. But we'll just give you folks a look here inside the 77 model C65. What'd you say, Dale? 56,000 or something?
It's in the 50s, yeah.
Okay.
Tilt hood.
Nice.
Most trucks this age doesn't do this.
Love it.
Easier to work on.
Have you always had Chevy trucks, or not necessarily? Or
I didn't know they made anything else.
John Deere tractors and Chevy trucks.
When I first showed up down here to talk to Mr. C here about potentially doing his sale, and I pulled up in a Ford, it was almost a deal breaker. It really was.
Well, Gary Allen's a good guy. You got past the Ford there, huh?
It's okay. Here's the deal. You know, I wish the politicians could come to the center, you know, like that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Exactly. All right, let's walk around the shed here, and we'll start off getting you up close, folks, to some of the John Deere tractors here. And again, how many John Deere tractors are there on the sale, Gary?
21.
21, okay.
Well, 21 tractors total, 18 Deere.
18 Deere, okay. So you did let a couple other colors get on the farm here, Dale.
The little international 140s were, when I was small, that's all we had to plow tobacco with.
Oh, sure.
They're one-row cultivators, and you're sitting there riding a little tractor all day long.
Nice, nice. And folks, we just were filming for TV. Hopefully we can get in over there, but tobacco curing barn, or is that proper to say curing barn or drying barn, or?
That's fine. We just call them dart tobacco barns.
Okay.
But that's what they're for.
And folks, we got inside for the TV show. Great fun for a northern boy like me to hear Dale explain the tobacco business. And here we look down the row of tractors, and kind of a special one here right at front, this 2640 Dale. Now this one, was this on the farm when you were?
I bought it kind of after high school. It's
After
a
high school.
1976 model.
76, okay. And you kind of have a soft spot for the 2640, I
I
understand.
do.
And what is it about that 2640 that you love so much, Dale?
Well, it's about 70 horsepower tractor, and it's called a row crop model.
Yep.
But you can do a lot of things with it. It's not too low and it's not too tall, and at that time it was very good to, whether you were pulling wagons or whatever you want to do with it, you know.
Versatile.
with
Yeah.
Some tractors.
Yep. And of course that 40 series, iconic. And then you can see right next to it, folks, Gary Allen, we have 6 or is it 5?
6 of them, yes, sir.
6 50-55Es, folks. So if you've been looking, here's your opportunity. Again, the auction is tomorrow. Kicks off at 10. Is it, Gary Allen?
10 a.m. Central.
10 a.m. Okay. And your website, Taylor Auction Company,
TACauctions.com.
TAC Auctions, S on the end, auctions.com.
Plural, yes, sir.
Okay. There you go. How many, and the hour range on these 50-55Es, guys? Do you?
All of them under 1,000. Most of them between 800 and 950.
Okay.
I think 950 is actually the highest one.
I say that's
950 high. So these were all used on your tobacco
It was
operation.
used to harvest the tobacco to bring it in from the fields
Okay.
on what we call scaffold wagons, or
Scaffold.
pipe wagons.
Okay.
And I might say that he had several of those. He's got 82 of them on the sale.
82
Scaffold wagons.
scaffold wagons. Oh, wow.
The silver ones.
The silver.
82. So
He could
I
put
don't
a
know
lot
if
of
I've ever
tobacco-
seen 82 of anything on an auction. That's a
he
lot.
could put a lot of tobacco on wheels in
That's
a hurry.
awesome. And folks, you can maybe see behind us there, just down a little bit in front of the barn, that's the, Dale, what do you call that? The drying wood, or what do you?
Yeah, we call them slabs, but that's what it
Slabs,
is.
okay.
It's the wood we use to fire the tobacco with.
Okay.
It's your heat source.
Heat source, right. Okay. And we have, many trailers of tobacco sticks that are selling on the auction tomorrow. But as we continue down, we got lots of John Deere tractors here. I see, you've got notes on them. A lot of the tractors when you service them. Dale, has that always been a thing for you?
Yes,
Keeping tabs on what you did and when you did it?
exactly.
Yeah.
True.
And why the meticulous care you gave these tractors and all your equipment. Dale, what drove you to go to the extent that you did on all these things?
I'm not sure I understand that question.
The care you gave them. Again, this is what Gary told me about the sale right off. He's like, this is not your average stuff here, Greg. This is he was talking about the care you gave everything, having to be just right.
Well, it's just like when I went to purchase something, I always look at the specs on the equipment, see if it's made right, see how big, and like on the tractors, the pumps, the outlets, everything. There's a lot to do with how a tractor's spec'd out.
Right.
And I wanted to if you get something that's good to start with, usually it'll stay with you.
Right.
If it's made right, it'll hold up.
Right.
And
All about the details. Yeah.
yes, I'm
Okay.
big into details.
Okay. Well, let's continue down the line here, folks. And again, the sale is tomorrow morning, Saturday, December 14th. It's kind of a beautiful day right now. We're a little bit of rain tomorrow afternoon, maybe.
Late in the afternoon.
Awesome.
Keep thinking
Late
that.
in the
Late in the
afternoon, there you go.
afternoon.
Well, again, we've talked, Gary, that I've got 35 years that show any type of inclement weather tends to produce hot bidding. Of course, you'll have a worldwide audience online here too. A great line of equipment, folks. Again, TACauctions.com. Check it out. Have online bidding tomorrow. Mowers here. Let's go to the next tractors around the corner here. And folks, last time I was in Kentucky for an auction was a sale Gary Allen and Travis had 14 months ago that a lot of you will remember in Winchester, Kentucky. And all the auctions I've covered for 35 years, Gary Allen, that that auction set the most record on one event I've ever seen. I think it was 15 record prices. Seems like yesterday we were there.
It
But
doesn't seem like it was 14 months ago. That's
Dr.
for sure.
John Gray, how's Dr. Gray doing? Is he
Dr.
doing?
Gray's good. They just got back from a hunting trip in South Dakota, and
Nice.
they're having a big time. So
Well, I know people are still asking me about that auction, and that was super fun. Now, again, tell us about the tractors here, guys.
Dale 6200. I don't know where in the world you'd find a better one. I mean, just absolutely beautiful.
Did you buy these new or used, Dale?
Usually most of them I bought was very low hours.
Okay.
And like this tractor here has probably been here 20 years or plus.
Hmm.
And like I said, you have favorite tractors. I mean, they're all favorites, but some are more so than others.
Yeah.
But,
This would be one of
that's,
yours?
That's one of them. It's
Okay.
equipped right and made right.
Okay. And next to it we have
6410.
6410, okay. How many hours on these guys, roughly, do you?
This one's in the 2000s.
Mm.
I think that one's around 5, wasn't it, Dale?
I think it's around six.
6, okay. 6410, and then we got, 6320?
6320, yes,
Okay.
sir, with a brand new.
I'd like to make a little comment on that
Sure.
tractor.
Yeah.
That tractor, I bought it from University of Kentucky, has a research farm in Princeton, Kentucky.
Okay.
Just to put that in perspective, that's where the tornado came through about 3 years ago,
Right.
part of that area. But
Right.
I bought this tractor, it had 43 hours on it.
Hmm.
And I always like to have a loader, so we put loader and everything, but I didn't really need the loader. So ever since that time, the loader's been inside.
Mm.
As you can tell, it's really clean, and I just put
Right.
the loader back on the other day
Okay.
in order to get it ready for the sale.
Love it.
So
Like new loader there, folks. Beautiful tractor. Got all the great care. Bought with only a couple hours on it from Dale here, so that's what we're talking about on all these tractors. Beautiful condition. And as we pan around here, Gary, you were telling me about this sprayer, this spray coupe. Extremely low hours on this thing, right?
Just over 700 hours on that one,
Mm.
and it fits the bill that all the Dale stuff does. It's just immaculately cared for, and it's probably the nicest one as I've ever seen.
Is this a 4660?
46.60.
Okay. And Dale, how long have you owned it, or where'd you buy it?
I've owned this several years. I bought it, it had low hours, of course.
Okay.
It's hard to find one in that condition. I actually had a guy to drive in here from Montana
To look at it.
to look at this.
Wow.
He
That's-
said he wanted to see it in person before he tried to bid online.
Right.
So that's, but that's somebody to come that far, you know, that
Right.
shows that
Again, how hard it is to find.
you're not going to find one like
Right. Right. Yep. And did you have a number of spray coupes over the years, or
that. Well, this is the last one.
this is the last?
I've got my old
Oh,
ones.
there you go.
That's what I started out with.
Okay.
230 here. I call them the little airplane, the way they
That's
look.
good. I
but
want to get a little closer
Yeah.
look at it for people. I don't see 230s every day.
Yeah, you might want to look at
You
this
might
one,
want to look at that
Greg.
one.
It's-
Okay.
I've never seen a spray coupe with duals on it, and there it is.
It kind of doesn't matter the ground condition, you can still go, you know.
I love it, Dale. That's awesome. You're right, Gary. I don't know that I've seen that. That'll get people talking when you tool around in Crofton, Kentucky here. And how old is that roughly, Dale? Would you guess?
You know, I think it's a 1990 model or somewhere
90?
along that
Okay.
line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, for 30, almost 35 years old.
And I've sprayed with it every year. I wouldn't be afraid to use it today.
You've used it every year right along.
Up till, yeah,
Okay.
this be the first time to leave here.
Very, very nice. Well, let's pan around, folks. Now we've kind of been saving. We're working our way down the hill here, and tell you what, you want to stay with us, folks. Coming up, we got a 7410 two-wheel drive and a pair of 4455 two wheels and a 4560 two-wheel. Just incredible. But again, nice line of the whole line of equipment here selling tomorrow, Saturday, December 14th, 10 a.m. TACauctions.com. And what we got going here for tractors, guys? Walk us through.
So first one here is a 6420L. Of course, it's a low pro. And Dale, you might tell them a little bit about what you did with the low pro tractors.
The low pro tractor, they basically, we talked earlier about the sawdust and the slabs.
Yep.
It's what you use the low pro to move the wide buckets. These are buckets for high volume,
Okay,
and that sawdust is not very heavy.
sure.
So that's what we use to put it in. And then we have forks too to move the slabs in with.
Okay.
And the low pro is so you can get in the barns.
Oh, sure.
Because when your tobacco's hanging in the barns, as we looked in this barn down here,
Yeah.
when it hangs down another 5 feet, you can't have a canopy or you can't have a
Gotcha.
cab or anything. It has to
Okay.
be low.
Low pro. Okay, very cool. And our ballpark on these, Gary, do you remember, or Dale?
This is a high 2000, 28 or 9 or something
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other one's what, 24? Or
24. Yeah, there's
somewhere.
not a whole lot of hour difference in them.
Nice.
Well, we haven't mentioned, but all these tractors are power quad on this type tractor.
Okay.
24 speed on the 60.
This one actually has a 24 speed.
Mm.
Most of them are power quad 16.
Okay. Okay. Well, again, beautiful tractors here selling tomorrow, folks. And yeah, let's get down to these two-wheel drives down here. And here again, you can see the wood that'll be selling, involved in the tobacco drying. And we'll walk in the barn here in a minute, folks. Of all the years of videos I've done, the smell walking into that drying barn, Dale, I was telling you, I wish we had smell-o-vision for high-def TV.
I believe you're hooked on this smell,
I don't smoke. I don't use smokeless chewing tobacco, but I don't drink coffee either, but I love the smell of coffee. But
there you go.
it's it's great stuff. And a great setting here. Beautiful. Your farm is beautiful.
Well, thank you very
Dale,
much.
just beautiful. Every time I come to Kentucky, the people are so wonderful, and it's just beautiful country. I get down around Louisville and Lexington for the farm show. We're driving, and over here, it's just great country, and you combine good people with beautiful country. And these tractors, folks, take a look. That's like the cover of your calendar right there. And Gary, you were telling me the 7410 two-wheel drive is just as nice as you'll find. How many hours on this thing?
Just over 3,000.
Okay.
30 some and some change.
32 on the filter there.
Yeah,
32.
3,200.
And have you had this for a while,
A
Dale?
long time.
And how would you use it on the farm here?
You notice I have a lot of tractors.
Yes.
And I tried to have a tractor to every tillage tool or sprayer or whatever, so I wasn't constantly unhooking and trying to be more efficient.
Right.
And but this tractor here, it had a little one of the sprayers that sells up here.
Okay.
Actually, the Great Plains. It's what we used it in the
Okay.
field in the backup. I'll take you a step further. We hand all the backup with what we call drop nozzles.
Okay.
You're walking through and you're running liquid down the plant.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's what pulled the Great Plains
Okay.
sprayer.
Well, Gary, you were indicating there's been quite a bit of interest on this
There has been.
tractor. A two-wheel
the
drive
nicest-
10 series. That's kind of what people are looking for these
That's
days.
the
Vintage.
nicest one as I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
Now, Gary, I got to have you walk us in here on the 4455. Let's give the setup here, folks. It's got just over like 5,000 hours.
this one's just over 5,000.
Okay. Now, when you were getting ready for the sale, coming down and working with Dale, walk me through the little story here.
Okay, so this was in probably late August, early September. First time I come down here. Obviously an auction tag's not gonna stay on there that long.
Yeah.
So I said, we're gonna paint marker on some of these to, for cataloging and getting everything on the internet and everything.
Right.
So, where would be a good place to do that on these tractors? And Dale thought that in the toolbox here, where it wouldn't get on the paint of the tractor, would be the spot. So there's our lot number, and that way it wouldn't potentially mess up the paint. And that's
So
just
Dale-
another testament to what I've been telling you about.
Dale, you didn't want that number visible.
This is true.
But again, like you said, Gary, I mean,
Yeah.
that speaks to the meticulousness of
absolutely.
care.
Absolutely.
And I would say, Dale, I mean, I've seen a lot of auctions, a lot of tractors. Hats off to you for the hard work you've done caring for these. I know it's not easy, but
Well, it's like a lot of things. You take pride in what you do.
right,
And I do it with my equipment, and I did it with my farming.
right,
And in the end, it'll pay off.
right. Well, the folks who buy these tractors tomorrow on the sale, they're going to be happy buyers to get this kind of quality and the care. Again, as I've written a lot of, as I get older, folks, when you buy a piece of used equipment, to me, you're buying the seller. And again, the way you've cared for Dale is outstanding. Now, tell us, Dale, these 244 55s, two-wheel drives here, how did you use these on the farm over the years?
These tractors mostly did the fertilizer applicators.
Okay,
That's what we use to side dress our tobacco with.
okay,
A 3-point hitch, which is only a 4-row implement.
okay. Now, of all these John Deere tractors, Dale, do you have a favorite now? If I asked you to put you on the spot, what would you say is your favorite?
All of them? No.
Chevy trucks, John Deere tractors?
It's changed a little bit since I first started coming.
Okay, well, now, Gary, give us the inside scoop. What do you think his favorite tractor is or was?
It's been the 6410 open station.
Yeah.
I gotta give you a hard time.
That's okay.
It's been the 6320.
Okay,
It's been the 7410.
yep,
And I think it's been this 4455 too.
okay. Well, hey,
No, and it was the 6420 cab too. Remember that was,
Yeah.
a case can be made for every one
That's
of them.
right.
But if you really wanted me to pick out one, it'd have to be that one.
7410. Yeah, that's fantastic.
I don't
I
blame
love it. That's awesome. How many hours on the second 4455 here?
Just over 7.
Over 7. Okay. And folks, right next to it, we have a 4560 two-wheel drive. Of course, don't see those every day. How many hours on that one, guys?
9500.
95.
It's the most nice on the tractor.
Highest hour. Okay.
But now I will say, I've told a lot of people this and I'll say it again. I would rather buy a 10,000 hour tractor off DLC than I would a 3,000 hour tractor off a lot of people.
There's no question marks, right?
No question.
Yeah, right. Well, that's why you take great care of your equipment, folks, and have it look like that. And you were also telling me, Gary, when we were up close first looking at the tractors, let's go up to that 4455, and you were, this original paint?
Original paint. It is,
You know-
it is. And like I say, you'll see, the only thing you're gonna see on these tractors is a few traces of rubbing compound where they got waxed every single year. That's the only thing you're gonna find on them.
And perfect,
Get you a
Travis.
good shot there.
Yep, let's get up into the cab. It's not just the outside, folks. The history of care. They just look fantastic.
Every one of them looks like it.
Yep. It's not every auction I could see that, very rare. Again, but again, you could look at these and might assume that the owner repainted them.
You would, but it's just not. You can look. A lot of the tractors, if the wheels have been touched up, you'll have, as you know, you'll have overspray on your rack and pinion.
Right,
You'll have
right.
overspray on your remotes, and when you really study these things, they are the real deal.
Right. And waxing, obsessive, would you say, we were in terms of waxing?
Every year they got waxed.
Yeah.
And every night, I mentioned this earlier, if it was going to rain, I drove them home,
Yeah.
put them inside.
Yeah.
And I discussed that with Gary in the beginning. Did I need to touch it up with paint or something? And,
Yeah.
and he said, absolutely
No,
not. Be original.
Yeah, be original. That's always, I think, the best advice. Those DuPont overhauls they just raise question marks. But if we turn here, folks, I'd be remiss if we didn't get Dale here. Could you walk us into the barn again? We did this for the TV show.
Okay.
But again, I'm a
We did it.
Minnesota boy, so
That's right.
I appreciate your patience with me, Dale.
I'm
But
just waiting for you to bring me to Minnesota and show me something. Yeah.
well, hey, we'd love to have you come up to Minnesota. That would be awesome. Now again, every time I come down to either Carolinas or Kentucky here, folks, learning about the tobacco business. And again, Travis and Gary Allen said, Pete, you got to go in this barn and just for the smell. And again, I wish we could convey that here, but it just smells wonderful in here. And now you were saying you had a tornado here on the farm. Was it 16?
2016.
16. Does this
Yes,
barn get flattened?
A lot of the barns were beyond repair.
Okay.
And most of them, this barn here was built in 26. This one was totally
Okay.
destroyed.
Okay. Well, we have sawdust on the floor here now, so for people, non-tobacco growers, you bring the tobacco in here and the whole floor you have a fire.
We bedded in here,
Right.
like 10 beds.
Okay.
That's the way we do it.
And then you have that wood down here, and you get that on fire, and then you put the sawdust on to control.
You put the wood in, you put the sawdust on top, you complete the process, and then you come back and start each bed.
Ah, okay.
It has to be after it's complete before you start the fire.
Okay. And how long will the fire go then?
Approximately 14 days.
14 days.
Yes.
And you have to check it 3 times a day?
You're supposed to.
You're supposed to. I
That's
bet
the
you
idea.
did.
If
Yeah.
you don't want to possibly burn one, it's a good idea.
Right.
But if your material, your wood is good, your sawdust is good, it's not a hard deal.
Mm.
Yeah.
And here, all the tobacco sticks, folks. Many sticks on the auction tomorrow. And the coloration on the walls, just I suppose, just the years.
Just due to the smoke.
Right.
Yeah. Because when I'm checking barns, I wear a mask.
Sure.
And in other words, you can't see your hand in front of you. You walk around, it's like being in a cloud.
Sure. And what's the temperature when you're that 2-week fire you got?
The ideal temperature is from 110 to 120, 25.
Okay.
Over the years, there's been a lot of research done on tobacco,
Yeah.
and the older school people got it a lot hotter than that.
Mm.
But we found out over the years, the lower temperatures, according to my companies, when I grew for them, it lowered the carcinogen levels down.
Oh, okay.
And of course, I'm not saying there's a healthy product, but we're trying to produce as healthy as possible.
Right. Oh, love it. Well, again, thank you, Dale, for teaching a Minnesota boy like me. And now one tractor we didn't see, guys, that's on the sale tomorrow, the 4955. Is that, how many hours on that?
50 something.
Yeah, 5,000 and some change.
And that's a mechanical front, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that's the biggest tractor you have
That's
on the
my
sale
big
tomorrow, Dale? Okay. Well, Dale, thank you so much for giving us the walkthrough. And again, congrats on your farming career with your auction tomorrow. And Gary Allen and Travis, thank you guys for giving me the heads up that I needed to come down. And
Thank you for coming.
And folks, come on out to the sale tomorrow. I'll be here. We'll be filming it for our TV show. I believe these episodes will air sort of end of January into February, but some great quality equipment. And again, sales tomorrow, Saturday, December 14th. And again, that website, Gary?
TACauctions.com.
All right, guys, we had finished our interview here. We went around the barn, and by the way, there's the 4955 down behind Travis there. Sweet rig. But Gary Allen, you were telling me on the tillage units, again, a sign of Dale's history of care. You said like on the shanks on these things.
Yeah, so every fall, Dale told me, make sure everything was clean before it went in the barn, and then paint all the shanks to keep them from rusting over the winter.
Painting the shanks every year, Dale?
Well, when you go to the field, it's going to shed the dirt, and you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
You're good to go.
I love it.
You're good to go.
That's the history of care we're talking about on the sale tomorrow here, folks, in Crofton, Kentucky. Gary Allen, thanks for that catch. I think that's
Absolutely.
important, that level of detail. Thanks again. Okay, guys, one more footnote to our preview video here as we were talking with Gary Allen and Dale. For folks who come out to beautiful Crofton, Kentucky, to the sale, to your beautiful farm here, Dale, tomorrow, Gary Allen, there's no buyer's premium?
No buyer's premium on site.
And Dale, you were telling me that was a condition.
That's what, I guess I'm old school, but a lot of people don't like the buyer's premium. And in my mind, if you think enough to come to my auction, then I think enough to try to treat you right. And so that's the reason I'm going to take care of that.
And that was conversation number one
Number
between
one.
me and Dale.
There you go. We wanted to include that, folks, again, because this is the guy, this is Dale's equipment, his auction. And yeah, again, thanks for sharing that, folks. Again, TACauctions.com tomorrow, or come on out and join us. We'll be here, and it'll be a great day.